What if you had the chance to sit down with, say, 100 of the world's most successful CEOs? Really pick their brains for their most powerful leadership secrets.
Imagine that, just getting those direct, unfiltered
Well,
insights.
that's pretty much exactly what we're embarking on today in this deep dive.
That's right. We're sort of cutting through all the noise, the countless business books and articles to bring you the distilled wisdom, real insights from top executives across a whole range of diverse industries.
And these aren't just abstract theories floating around.
No, not at all. These are battle-tested strategies, philosophies, actual tactics that have genuinely helped their organizations rise to the top, really excel in their fields.
So whether you find yourself leading a big company or maybe guiding a smaller team or even just navigating your own career path.
Yeah, understanding these principles, it offers a kind of powerful shortcut, a way to get to effective leadership and, impactful results much faster.
Today, we'll unpack how these leaders manage to foster that deep, unwavering trust, how they ignite innovation, empower their teams, and make those tough, decisive choices in a world that's, let's face it, always changing.
And what you'll probably discover is that while the industries vary and the personalities are definitely different, these core leadership truths, they just keep emerging.
Right. Offering you really actionable insights you can actually apply in your own journey.
Exactly. Things you can use.
So let's start with maybe the most foundational questions, one that's been debated for, well, generations, really.
Ah, the classic. Are great leaders born or are they made?
Precisely. Is it something innate or can it be cultivated, developed over time? It's shaped so much of how we think about leadership.
And it's fascinating, isn't it, how persistent that born leader idea is, almost like it's magic.
But our sources, the insights we've gathered, they offer some pretty compelling evidence that leans very heavily towards the latter, towards the made side of things.
It really does. When you actually ask the leaders themselves, the story changes quite dramatically. There was one survey, a big one, polling around 300 company presidents and CEOs.
Right.
And these executives, they believed only about 40% of their own leadership abilities were innate. Just 40.
Wow, only 40%. That means the rest, the huge majority.
Exactly. A staggering 60% they felt was developed, honed, refined through experience, through learning.
So the big question then is, what makes up that 60%? What are those learned abilities?
And that's where someone like Daniel Goleman comes in. With his work on primal leadership, he provides such a critical piece of the puzzle.
Emotional intelligence.
Precisely. He suggests that an individual's emotional intelligence, their ability to recognize and manage their own emotions and understand and influence the emotions of others, that accounts for maybe up to 80% of leadership success.
80%, that's huge. And emotional intelligence.
Mm.
That's something widely considered to be a skill set you can actually develop, right?
Hmm.
It's not fixed.
Absolutely. It involved skills like self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, social skills, things you can actively work on and improve through conscious effort and practice.
So if a learnable skill like emotional intelligence is responsible for such a massive part of leadership success, that really does hammer home the idea that leadership isn't some predetermined destiny.
It dismantles that myth. And it's not just Goleman's research. You see this echoed elsewhere, too. Some business publications have concluded pretty unequivocally that leadership qualities can be spotted, they can be nurtured, and that everyone really has leadership potential.
That completely shifts the perspective, doesn't it? From this kind of exclusive born leader club.
To an accessible path, a journey of continuous learning and growth that's open to anyone willing to put in the work.
It reframes leadership not as arriving somewhere, but as constantly moving, learning, adapting.
Exactly. It's a continuous learning journey. It's about the choices you make. Gene A. Abbott, the CEO of Abbott and Associates, put this really well. He emphasized self-improvement.
What did he say specifically?
He said, only through one's willingness and dedication to give oneself and strive solely to be the best, not the biggest, can one become a better leader.
Being the best, not just the biggest. That's a really important distinction. How did that play out for him?
Well, he pointed to his team's dedication on a project for Argonne National Laboratory. Their work was so exceptional, apparently, that Argonne actually made a safety video featuring Abbott's people and sent it worldwide.
Incredible. So it wasn't about size, it was about striving for excellence.
It was about that commitment, which
All
is
right.
a choice, right? It shows that excellence comes from that conscious, unwavering commitment to being the absolute best in what you do, whatever your size.
And that connects to continuous learning, too. William H. Goodwin Jr., CEO of CCA Industries, he added another layer to this, didn't he?
Yes, the importance of learning from decisions, especially the difficult ones. He made the point that you never really know if a tough call is the right one at that exact moment.
That's true. Hindsight is easier.
Right. But the key, he said, is to learn from it. His words were something like, the only reason you might look back is to learn something that you could have done better so that next time you can make a better decision.
So viewing every outcome, good or bad, as data for growth.
Exactly. And he stressed combining practical and academic education with plain old hard work and honesty. Building that foundation, it underscores that leadership isn't about always being right.
But about constantly improving.
Yeah.
Using every challenge to learn.
Precisely. An unyielding dedication to getting better.
That idea of dedication of practice really resonates. Paul G. Garrity Sr. from Garrity Industries, he used an analogy for this, didn't he?
He did. He saw leadership as a skill that has to be practiced. Like a great athlete trains relentlessly. It's not passive.
And his own career showed that practice in action.
Oh, definitely. Taking on established giants by introducing disposable lighters and flashlights. That was daring back then.
A huge risk.
Absolutely. But through constant innovation, calculated risks, he didn't just compete, he eventually led the market. That wasn't just luck or raw talent, it was the disciplined practice of innovating and risk-taking over and over.
Learning by doing, essentially.
Which ties into what James W. Keyes, who led 7-Eleven, said. He had that great analogy.
The swimming one.
Yeah, exactly. Leadership is like learning to swim. One cannot read a book and then know how to swim. One must instead plunge into the water and practice.
It's so visceral, you can't theorize your way into being a leader.
You have to jump in. And he even extended it to teaching, saying the teacher, while teaching, is actually practicing what they teach and learns more deeply themselves.
So it's a cycle. Doing, reflecting, refining, even teaching it reinforces your own understanding.
It's a reciprocal process. You embody it, and through that, you learn.
And Robert P. Baird Jr. at Norelco, he kind of distilled this further, focusing on the how.
Right. He said successful leadership is less about what we need to do and more about how we do what needs to be done.
Focusing on the execution, the approach.
And he emphasized that leadership qualities are developed characteristics, things that can be significantly improved through hard work, and importantly, being open to constructive feedback.
So again, it's learnable, improvable, adaptable. It's about self-awareness and willingness to grow.
It really hammers home that how you lead, your process, your openness to feedback is just as critical, maybe more critical than just setting a direction.
So bringing this all together,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway for you, our listener?
Well, it fundamentally shifts things, doesn't it? Leadership isn't some exclusive club you're born into.
It's an accessible path.
Exactly. A path of continuous personal and professional growth. Your willingness to learn, to adapt, to practice, to take feedback, that's actually your greatest leadership asset.
It puts the power back in your hands. It's about agency, not destiny. A really empowering thought to start with.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if leadership can be learned, what are the core elements these successful leaders focus on? Let's pivot to what seems to be right at the heart of it all. A people-first philosophy.
Yes, this comes up again and again. The most effective leaders, they consistently put their people, employees, customers, partners, right at the center of their strategy.
And it's not just like a nice thing to do. It's strategic.
Oh, absolutely strategic. It cultivates loyalty, it drives innovation, and it ensures long-term success. It's fundamental.
Let's dig into that. Starting with the employee-centric culture. Daniel P. Amos at AFL had a very direct philosophy on this.
He really did. Revolutionary in its simplicity almost. He said, if you treat your employees well, they will take care of your customers and your business.
Treat employees well, and the rest follows. Seems straightforward, but how did he actually put that into practice? Beyond just saying it.
Well, through very tangible actions. For instance, AFLE opened childcare facilities, the Imagination Station, way back in 1991. They eventually became the largest provider in Georgia.
That's a significant investment in employee well-being.
A huge practical help for working parents, reducing distractions, helping them focus. But it went further.
Like the financial side.
Exactly. Every employee got stock options. They had a yearly profit-sharing program. So their own financial success was directly tied to the company's success.
That creates real buy-in.
It fosters what he called a tough stuff loyalty, where people don't say, that's not my job. They feel ownership. They even hold annual events for retirees, maintaining that connection, building a real AFLF family.
It's a whole ecosystem of care and shared benefit. A masterclass, really.
It absolutely proves that prioritizing employee well-being and giving them a real stake leads to profound loyalty and a culture where people want to take care of the business.
And Matt Rubel at Cole Haan had a different but equally powerful technique related to employees.
Yes, his was about listening. He said his most powerful technique was simply to ask our people for their best thinking and then really listen.
Just asking and listening.
Sounds simple, but think about the impact. It shows respect. It empowers people. It leads to better ideas because you're tapping into collective intelligence. And it gives employees pride in their contributions.
So the act of asking and truly listening is powerful in itself. It changes the dynamic.
Completely. It turns employees into engaged co-creators.
That resonates with J. Darius Bykoff at Energy Brands, Glaso, the vitamin water folks. His philosophy involved fun and passion.
Right. He focused on integrating fun into the workplace and being passionate and intense about the work. He encouraged irreverence, humor. You saw it in their product labels, their marketing.
Created a really unique brand personality.
Totally. And he actively coached his team on this approach daily. It shows that a playful, passionate spirit can actually be a serious competitive advantage.
Build a brand from the inside out.
And you see that passion echoed by Adrienne Arpel at Signature Club A. She leads with passion and finds it's contagious.
And she practiced loyalty as a two-way street.
Absolutely. Gratitude shown through thoughtful gestures, flowers, gifts, remembering birthdays. It fostered deep loyalty, long tenures for her executives. Plus, she believed in paying market prices plus.
So tangible rewards and genuine care reinforcing each other.
It's that consistent demonstration of commitment, and you see this scaled up massively at Southwest Airlines with Jim Parker.
Ah, the servant leader concept.
Exactly. He defined his role as actively removing barriers for employees, encouraging them to stretch their abilities, not commanding from on high, but enabling from below.
And that's deeply embedded in Southwest culture, isn't it? Leaders as team players.
Very much so. Leaders participate in the work, set the example. And Parker noted how simple things saying, please, thank you, asking about someone's weekend build incredible loyalty.
Pays off a million times over, I think he said.
Yes. It creates an environment where respect is so consistent, it's hard to even tell who's who in the hierarchy based on how people interact. Everyone feels valued.
That level of loyalty and initiative built on respect, it's powerful. So if putting people first is key, how do leaders actually hear their people effectively? That brings us to listening and communication.
Crucial skills, and several leaders really emphasized active listening as the starting point. Mark DeMassimo at DeMassimo Brand Advertising, for example.
What was his approach?
He'd ask potential hires about the best place they ever worked and why it was the best. Often, competence was the answer, but he'd dig deeper, asking, what gives you satisfaction? To understand real motivations.
Getting beyond surface answers.
And Roger Berkowitz at Legal Seafoods, he didn't just listen passively, he created a structure for it.
The President's Advisory Council.
Right. Quarterly meetings with randomly selected hourly employees, crucially, without management present.
Creating a safe space for honest feedback.
Exactly. Direct, unencumbered feedback on service, the menu, leading to real changes like getting rid of unpopular surcharges, improving training. He called it a formula that works.
So effective leaders don't just hope for feedback. They actively build channels for it. They seek it out.
Proactively, tapping into that wealth of knowledge that's already there at all levels.
And listening needs to be paired with clear communication from the top down. William P. Lauder at Estee Lauder stressed this.
He absolutely did. Clear, constant communication of the mission, the objectives, repetition and clarity are essential, he said.
How did he ensure that clarity?
Through multiple meetings every week, formal and informal, reaching hundreds of people, making sure everyone understood the direction so they could all pull together.
Ensuring alignment. Michael Fleischer at Gardner took that a step further with openness.
Yes, he believed open, informal communication fosters teamwork, collaboration, and success. He held regular forums, but the key was soliciting anonymous questions via email.
Anonymous questions. That's interesting. Why?
Because it ensures the tough questions get asked. The uncomfortable ones people might hesitate to ask publicly. It removes fear of reprisal and fosters genuine transparency.
Acknowledging that valuable insights might be hidden in those tough questions.
Exactly. And that willingness to listen, even to unconventional ideas, paid off for John Goodman at the Goodman Group. His intuition about shifting the model for senior living.
From medical to residential.
Right. It was confirmed when two experienced administrators independently came up with similar ideas for assisted living, trusting those internal voices even when they challenged the status quo.
A synergy of intuition and listening to the team.
And David Steinberg at Infonic put it simply, listen to people and make them feel like part of a team. He believed a wealth of knowledge resides under their own roof. Just tap into it.
So simple, yet so often overlooked.
And when it comes to communicating strategy, Lloyd G. Buzz Waterhouse at Reynolds & Reynolds had that great line.
The simplifiers one.
Great leaders are great simplifiers. He challenged leaders. Do people understand the direction? Are they aligned? How do you get their support?
And his solution.
Radically simple. Condense the business plan onto one side of a single sheet of paper so everyone is literally working from the same page. Brilliant for clarity.
Powerful metaphor, practical application. And Tyler Young at W.F. Young showed how listening directly impacted the bottom line.
Right. He found success by working side by side with the rank and file. Listening informally, like in the cafeteria, revealed the real reasons customers were leaving.
Not assumptions from the top, but real reasons from the front line.
Exactly. And because he listened and involved them, the turnaround was faster and smoother. The employees were on board because they were heard and part of the solution.
So whether it's simplifying the message or getting alongside your team, it's about ensuring understanding, alignment, and that sense of ownership.
That's the key. Effective communication is a two-way street built on active listening and achieved clarity.
So thinking about this,
Yeah.
how deeply are you listening right now, truly listening to the people around you? Are you making them feel valued? Or could you be inadvertently silencing crucial insights?
It's a critical question because true leadership isn't about having all the answers yourself.
It's about creating the space for the best answers to emerge from the team. A huge unlock for potential. Okay, let's move from communication to something even more fundamental. The leader's inner compass. Values, integrity, trust.
Ah, yes, the bedrock. Beyond strategies, beyond communication, it comes down to character. Integrity, honesty, consistently living your values. That's what ultimately determines long-term success and genuine followership.
It's the foundation everything else rests on. William H. Goodwin Jr., again from CCA Industries, he had a powerful secret related to this.
He did. Make good, simple, honest, and ethical decisions. Very direct. And he added, I have never found dishonesty to be rewarding in any manner.
Never rewarding. How did he demonstrate that?
His example of sharing profits from AMF bowling with employees, he described the decision as simple because there really was no question that it was the right thing to do. Values driving action, building trust.
Doing the right thing, even when it might seem costly short-term, builds that long-term trust.
And Salvador Diaz-Verson Jr., he emphasized the value of personal honor.
What did that mean to him?
Simply put, say what you mean and do what you say every time. Consistency, reliability.
Walking the talk.
And he drew a really sharp line between a leader and a tyrant. True leaders, he argued, develop themselves into someone people want to follow because they trust them, believe in their vision.
Whereas tyrants?
Tyrants coerce, and often end up, as he put it, lonely, miserable, and universally hated. A stark warning about leadership without integrity.
So integrity isn't just moral, it's practical. It's what builds real followership.
It distinguishes true leaders from just bosses.
Bruce T. Coleman from El Salto Advisors, he lived this too, his secret.
To tell the truth and lead by example. He shared a story about taking over a company and being immediately upfront about layoffs.
That must have been incredibly difficult.
For sure, but an employee actually thanked him later for being the first person to tell us the truth. Honesty, even painful honesty, builds trust.
And the leading by example part.
He immediately rejected the lavish perks his predecessor had enjoyed. That sent a powerful, immediate message about expected behavior, setting the tone from the top through actions.
Living the values, not just stating them. Hurley Callister Turner Jr. from Dollar General, he traced values back even further.
Yes, to mature self-knowledge, specifically what he termed a God-centered discovery of self. He saw the Bible as a guide for solid values and a meaningful long-term mission.
So for some leaders, these core values stem from a deep, personal, even spiritual place.
Exactly, which shows that authenticity, whether from personal integrity like Coleman or deep conviction like Turner, is the foundation of credible leadership. It sets the example.
And Gary E. Costley at International Multifoods, he framed this as values-based leadership.
Right. His core idea, People will follow a leader they trust, and trust is built by actions, not words.
Actions, not words. What were his rules for action?
Pretty clear. Tell the truth. Treat people with respect. Listen. Do what you say you'll do. Help others succeed. And hold everyone, including yourself, accountable. A practical blueprint for trust.
Very actionable. See, Sternberg at New York Life provided a really interesting case study in this.
His decision not to demutualize, not to take the company public, that was huge.
Why did he make that call?
Based on his personal belief that there's an inherent conflict between serving policyholders' long-term needs and meeting shareholders' short-term demands.
Putting policyholders first, based on values.
And that unwavering commitment, he found, actually became a significant competitive advantage. It built deep, lasting trust with their customers.
Values translating directly into competitive strength. Erwin Simon at Haines Celestial Group also advocated for this kind of alignment.
Yes, he argued that truly successful leaders have values centered on responsibly serving all stakeholders, customers, employees, partners over the long run.
And critically, how do you ensure that happens?
By aligning everything. The company culture, employee reviews, rewards, discipline, everything needs to reflect and reinforce those core values. They have to be lived daily, embedded in the systems.
Not just posters on the wall.
Exactly. So Costley, Sternberg, Simon, they all show trust isn't passive. It's actively built by consistently aligning every action, every system with clear, long-term, stakeholder-focused values.
So let's bring this back to you listening. In a world of shifting trends, what unshakable values guide your decisions?
It's worth reflecting on. Because your integrity isn't just personal, it's a powerful leadership tool.
It builds that lasting trust and commitment. It's about the kind of impact you want to have.
Absolutely. Building a legacy, not just chasing short-term wins.
Okay, from the inner compass of values, let's shift to the outward imperative of evolution, innovation and adaptability.
This is so critical today. Standing still really is moving backward. The best leaders get this. They cultivate a culture of constant innovation, they challenge the status quo, and they see change not as a disruption, but as a constant.
Part of the landscape. David A. Brandon at Domino's Pizza learned this the hard way, didn't he?
He did. He realized Domino's had become complacent, measuring success internally, patting themselves on the back.
While competitors were
kicking our butt, as he put it. 7 years of market share decline. Ouch.
So what did he do?
He introduced a Wall Street mentality, benchmarking against the very best competitors, not just their own past performance, focusing relentlessly on external customer perception and growth. It forced significant change.
A necessary jolt. And Daniel Biederman, who revitalized Bryant Park, he took challenging the status quo to another level.
His technique was basically to re-examine absolutely every piece of conventional wisdom.
Question everything.
Pretty much. He talked about bogus experts predicting failure for things like movable chairs in the park or private management. But his skepticism, his willingness to test assumptions, led to huge success.
So don't just accept expert pronouncements.
His advice: look skeptically at every word that is confidently pronounced by questionable authorities. Test things yourself. Both Brandon and Biederman show innovation often starts by challenging complacency and conventional wisdom head-on.
Confronting reality, challenging norms. Ulrich Schumacher at Infineon Technologies embodied this with his mantra.
Dare to be different. Facing a huge market downturn, he went against the grain.
How so?
Instead of cutting back like everyone else, he increased R&D spending. He cut costs proactively, focused tightly on core strengths, a completely contrarian strategy.
Risky move in a downturn.
Hugely. But it worked. Infineon emerged stronger, leading in technology and innovation. He credited unshakable faith in your vision and the guts to act on it.
Counterintuitive but powerful.
Yeah.
Barry Sternlicht at Starwood Hotels had a similar energy.
Innovate or die. That was his motto.
Yeah.
He fostered a culture that rewarded creativity, even wacky suggestions. Because, hey, sometimes wacky works.
Like the W Hotels.
Exactly. Initially met with skepticism, but it tapped into an unmet need and became a massive success. He was relentless about fighting complacency, always asking, what's our next big thing?
That constant push for the new. Max Messmer at Robert Half also championed questioning and risk.
Right. He cultivated a questioning attitude and embraced calculated risks. He hated seeing good ideas die in the no-zone layer management fear of change.
The no-zone layer, I like that.
He actively encouraged ideas with a what a good idea program. And he took calculated risks, like pioneering professional temp staffing or launching Protivity during the accounting scandals. It paid off.
Seeing opportunity where others saw risk.
These leaders, Schumacher, Sternlicht, Messmer, they show innovation thrives when you not only encourage new ideas, but actively defy convention and break down the internal barriers that kill creativity.
And this applies even to massive established institutions. Alberto Eleman Zubiera and the Panama Canal.
A fantastic example. His leadership was defined by the ability to change constantly. He took a public utility and transformed it into a market-oriented, customer-focused business.
That must have involved huge cultural shifts.
Massive. New structures, new tolls, big investments, deep cultural change. But the results, safety, efficiency records, prove that even giants can innovate and adapt with the right leadership.
So for you listening, is change happening to you, or are you driving it? Are you stuck in how we've always done it?
Maybe it's time to cultivate that curiosity, this willingness to embrace risk, to drive fresh thinking, whether at work or in your personal life.
Seeing change not as a threat, but as fuel for growth.
Exactly, an ongoing opportunity.
Okay, we've covered vision, values, innovation. But none of it matters without execution. Precision in action.
This is where the rubber meets the road. Vision is critical, but it's meaningless without disciplined execution. Effective leaders make informed choices, align their teams, and relentlessly push to get things done, and they adjust as needed.
David T. McLaughlin at the American Red Cross highlighted the focus needed here.
Yes, keeping the board focused on just the 2 or 3 critical strategic issues, and then working with management to actually implement the strategies.
Like after 9/11.
Exactly. They successfully reassessed their mission, realigned everything to meet that unprecedented challenge. It's high stakes, precise execution.
And A.J. Wasterstein at Archive-Son showed how execution is vital for relationships too, especially when things go wrong.
His 4-step process for fixing a mistake and regaining trust, it's brilliant.
Remind us.
1. Fully admit you messed up. 2. Say exactly how you'll fix it. 3. Fix it. 4. Follow up to ensure satisfaction.
Simple, accountable.
And he found that fixing things this way, accountably, actually strengthens the relationship, turns a negative into a positive through solid execution.
So execution builds resilience, strengthens trust. Joseph Deitch at Commonwealth Financial Network talked about the structure needed for execution.
Right. After the vision, you need teams to brainstorm, develop programs, coordinate. The achievement of goals cannot be left to chance.
It requires conscious effort.
Conscious execution, he called it. Repeating messages, tracking progress, making sure everyone knows their part. Highly structured, highly intentional.
That structure feels important. Charles Figali at Interstate Resources had a more direct take.
His practical tip: push to get things done. The word push being key.
How did he push?
Ensuring clarity on expectations, deadlines, often set by employees themselves. And if deadlines slipped, they certainly hear from me. Accountability.
Like an orchestra conductor.
That was his analogy. Ensuring everyone knows their part and plays it on time, relentless follow-through.
And Robert Baird at Norelco had that technique, strategic probing.
Yes. Good executives form hypotheses quickly, he said. But the crucial step is digging deeper. Digging until I was satisfied we were at the level we needed to be.
Challenging assumptions, even data.
Exactly. Challenging presentations to get beyond surface data to the real strategic issues. Ensuring decisions were robust, not superficial. Deitch, Figali, Baird, they all show execution needs structure, push, and deep probing.
It's more than just delegating. Now for turnarounds, Peter Gardner at Zindart had a specific framework.
HIOGO, performance, organization, goals, operations. A rigorous system. Define the business, set the structure, establish clear metrics, tie compensation directly to result.
And it worked.
Dramatically, he turned struggling businesses into profitable leaders using that rigorous, measurable execution.
But even the best plans need flexibility, right? Bart Schudman at Transact Technologies emphasized this.
The need to call an audible, like a quarterback changing the play at the line.
Adapting on the fly.
Recognizing plans aren't sacred. When the market shifts, the economy changes, you have to be ready to adjust. Adaptability is key to execution today.
And maybe the ultimate example of crisis execution. Anne Mulcahy at Xerox.
The famous cow in the ditch analogy. So practical.
Step 1.
Get the cow out of the ditch.
Yeah.
Stabilize the crisis. Step 2. Find out how it got there. Understand the root cause. Step 3. Make sure it doesn't get in again. Implement preventative measures.
And her execution plan at Xerox was intense.
Oh yeah. Massive cost cuts, huge asset sales, but also critical investment in R&D, all while communicating constantly. A masterclass in multi-pronged, determined execution under fire.
So Gardner's rigor, Schudman's adaptability, Mulcahy's crisis management. They show execution is this blend of structure, agility, and systematic problem solving.
Absolutely. It's about making strategy real, tangible, impactful.
Which brings us back to you, the listener. Great ideas are only potential energy. How do you ensure yours translate into concrete actions?
Are you being clear, accountable, adaptable in your execution? That's where vision becomes reality.
Okay, finally, let's turn inward to the inner game of leadership, self-mastery, personal growth.
This might be the most profound layer, because effective leadership, deep down, reflects self-awareness, personal discipline, and a commitment to ongoing self-improvement. It starts with you.
John Goodman from the Goodman Group had direct advice here.
Know yourself, your mind, body, and spirit. That self-knowledge, he argued, empowers you
How so?
to leverage your gifts, work on weaknesses, and crucially, to create the life you want, rather than just reacting to circumstances. What you think is what you create, he believed. The power of mindset.
Agency over reaction. Pernil Lopez at IKEA North America spoke about courage.
Yes, the importance of courage and dare to be yourself, living by your values, passion, trust, commitment, especially when things get tough, ugly, as she put it.
In trust.
She advocated giving trust freely, believing it creates empowered relationships. For her, guiding people to achieve great things was a privilege tied to this authentic self-mastery.
So self-awareness and authentic courage are foundational.
They allow you to lead from a place of strength and build trust naturally.
Carino De Luca at Logitech exemplified this with his mindset.
The apprentice frame of mind, always learning, never assuming he had all the answers. Humility as an antidote for complacency.
How did that play out?
He actively sought out the brightest people, craved fresh thinking, let specialists lead even when he had doubts, like with the cordless desktop initially. This built credibility and led to better decisions.
Embracing not knowing, valuing others' expertise. Michael Drexler from the McManus Group learned from good and bad bosses.
His key takeaway: maintain a high level of intellectual honesty and skepticism. Don't discount anything, but don't blindly drink the Kool-Aid either.
A healthy skepticism enables continuous learning.
Exactly. And Peter Soderbergh at Welch Allyn had that beautiful fingerprint analogy for leadership.
Unique blend of strengths and learned basics.
Right. He learned through observation, continuous improvement, even seeking anonymous feedback on himself and hiring a coach. A real commitment to refining his unique leadership fingerprint.
So the inner game involves humility, honesty, and proactively seeking growth.
Definitely. It's about continuous self-refinement.
Michael Medzigian at Watermark Capital advised leaders about the details.
Sweat the small stuff in between, the big strategic visions, attention to detail matters, and also learning to tolerate ambiguity.
That's a tough one. How?
By gathering good information to ease the burden of decision-making. And his example of working late with junior staff
Getting in the trenches.
showed the importance of earning respect and candor through shared effort, building authenticity.
And finally, Thomas Frist Jr. from HCA brought up something fundamental.
Life balance. He stated simply, a person can't be at home with his family when he is working at the office, acknowledging that sustainable leadership requires integrating personal well-being.
You can't be effective long-term if you burn out.
So Medzigian's focus on detail and ambiguity, Frist's on balance, they show sustainable leadership needs discipline in both the small things and the big picture of personal well-being.
Staying resilient, respected, effective for the long haul.
Exactly.
So the final thought to leave you with from this deep dive is this. What are you doing daily to cultivate your own self-awareness and personal growth?
Because remember, your effectiveness as a leader is so deeply tied to your ability to lead yourself first.
We've covered a lot today, this rich tapestry of leadership, from realizing it's more learned than innate,
to the huge impact of treating people well, upholding integrity, constantly innovating, executing with precision.
and seeing that at its core, leadership is really this journey of self-mastery and dedication to purpose.
And these aren't just feel-good stories. They're actionable frameworks, powerful mindsets from leaders who've actually built and transformed major organizations.
Insights that can genuinely empower you to unlock your potential wherever you are in your career.
You know, in a world that's often obsessed with measuring what leaders achieve, maybe the real measure of greatness is how they achieve it. And maybe even more profoundly, who they become in that process.
That's a powerful question. What kind of leader are you becoming today?
Makes you think.
If you found value in this deep dive and these insights resonated with you, please consider sharing it. Pass it along to someone else in your network who might benefit.
We're always exploring new topics, new sources, trying to bring you the knowledge you need. quickly and thoroughly.
So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for our next deep dive.